Hello, welcome back to another episode of That Gym Girl podcast. Hi, it's your girl Angel. What is going on? Oh my gosh, this setup is wild. I am lucky enough that my dad does a podcast and I have kindly asked him to, borrow some of his equipment for my episodes every now and then. And this is what we're working with. So this is so exciting. I cannot believe that, we're up leveling and hopefully the quality sounds a lot better. If it doesn't, then rip. Anyway, I thought I'd just jump on for a cheeky Friday episode. And things are feeling weird. It's my time of the month and things are feeling a bit like mellow. You know, when it's your period and you're kind of just like, bleh. That's kind of how I feel today. So I actually called in sick for work today because I'm not feeling 100%. And I've decided that I need to focus on myself. So yes, I've decided to take the day off and really just focus on my health because that's what's needed for today. Now, if you've hit this episode, you want to lose body fat, or maybe you're interested in losing body fat, you kind of just want to know the gist. And this is super exciting because maybe you're about to start your fitness journey or you're going into a different phase of your fitness journey. Whatever it is, I need to make it something very, very clear. If you're watching this video because you think you need to be X amount of kilos, and if you're X amount of kilos, you're going to love yourself, or if you're choosing to lose this fat because you think that that way somebody in your life will love you or somebody in your life will have a higher perception of you, please click out, because at the end of the day, what you're doing is actually diminishing your self-worth and tying your self-worth to the thing that you see in the mirror. And there's a very stark difference between doing your fitness journey for your health and yourself and wanting to get stronger and wanting to get leaner because you think that's the stage in which you need to be at, versus doing this for somebody else because you think that they'll love you better. You think that maybe, people on Instagram will like your pictures better. Whatever the thing is, that's not okay. And this isn't hateful. You fucking know that I say everything I say with love. But I want you to understand that when I promote fat loss or fitness or weight loss, it needs to be from a place of, okay, this is the body I have now. Maybe my health needs to get a kick up the bum. Or maybe it is that you need to have better habits in your life, or you're working on your discipline and it's not really about the weight loss. It's more about the discipline in your life. And maybe you've both spoken to your partner and your partner thinks that, you're not working hard enough and you've decided that you're going to implement fitness in your life and that's something that you and your partner do. Like, those things are okay. But if your partner is saying to you, oh, you look a bit like you've put on some weight, whatever it is, and you're doing this for them, I'm going to tell you here and out that this journey is not going to work out for you. Like, you think you're going to go to the gym and do all the things I'm about to explain to you, and in order to prove to someone that they should love you because you're doing these things, it's not going to work. So I want you to really start with this conversation by going, okay, Angel, she's fucking been a bit of a bitch today and she's asking me for my why. And I want you to really understand, what is your why? For me, at the start, it was because I was going through a very toxic relationship and I was in a position where my now ex was becoming very verbally abusive and saying things to me that just were not okay. And I felt weak. My mind felt so weak. And I started going to the gym and I started boxing and I started lifting weights and I started doing HIIT classes and I felt strong. And for me, it was a phase in my life where the weight was coming off and I was, eating less calories and all that type of thing. But the goal wasn't just to lose weight. It was to feel strong. And the only toxic, quote unquote, toxic time I had in that weight loss journey was when I hired a coach and she was like to me, you need to lose X amount of weight this week. You need to get down to X amount of kilos this week. And that's when I went, whoa, hold on, sis. Like, I don't need to be that amount of weight to be happy or to help you promote your fitness brand. So that's the only thing I'll have to say on that. Now, if you are a long-time listener of the episodes, or if you're new around here, I'd really appreciate it if you maybe chucked a cheeky follow and pop a little 5-star review on whatever platform you're on, or feel free to hit me up on Instagram at That Gym Girl Podcast or at Angel Wallace-Miles. Now let's get into the episode. Okay, that was very abrupt. I just like fully don't know how to use this podcast thing and it has that sound. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. Let's use it. Okay, today's episode is going to be a little bit different to my usual style. So normally I kind of just riff and I rant at you and I kind of say words. Today I'm just, you guys are going to be like, what the fuck? Today I'm actually going to take you through almost like a step-by-step guide on how to reduce body fat and in turn increase muscle mass. So often I'll have, when we're starting our fitness journey, we'll be like, oh, I want to have a tight waist and abs and look skinny, whatever that fucking means. And then I also want a big ass and I want to have a strong back and I want to have thick thighs. And it's like, oh my God, can I have both? Can I build this body of my dreams? All of these fucking things. And yes, that is very aesthetic based. And obviously for me, I promote longevity and sustainability with your health. And so, I think it's actually okay to have aesthetic goals. I think having body image goals where you're like, oh, I want to have a fat ass or I want to have broad shoulders or I want to be able to do a pull up, like whatever it is, those goals are so fine, but they're not the be all end all. And I don't want you to think, oh my God, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't grown my glutes, therefore I should stop going to the gym. I don't want that to be a reality for you. So that's all I'm going to say to that. But I want to say that it is completely fine to have these goals and that in order to achieve them, there is actually a step-by-step guide which you can implement in your life. And I'm going to tell you that right now. So what you want to do is you want to go into a slight calorie deficit or caloric deficit. And so what that means is at the moment, whatever you're consuming is actually this thing called energy. And when you eat foods, it's actually just energy. Food is energy. And I know that seems super woo-woo and super like, oh, Angel, that seems really bizarre, but it's actually science. Like this isn't fucking astrology. This is science. And so you've got this X amount of energy and let's say you're consuming it and then you go to the gym and then you're walking at work and you're doing the laundry and you're doing your groceries and you're burning calories. Even when you're sleeping, you're burning calories because your body is working, with the cells and things inside of it. Also, for those who don't know, I'm a pharmacy student, so a lot of what I say does have merit and does have a lot of background, so please don't think I'm just riffing shit and making it up. Feel free to do your own research. If you ever think something that I say is wrong, you can always bring it to my attention. I'd be more than happy to chat about it. Anyway, so let's pretend you're bringing in a certain amount of calories and you're burning it off in all those aspects that I said. And then you start to kind of get at this point where the calories you're coming in, the calories are coming out, they're kind of even. That is your maintenance. So that is what is sustaining your life and keeping you at the kilos that you are now, or the pounds or the body weight that you are now. If you were to want to lose weight or lose body fat, you would reduce the amount of calories you're taking in as opposed to the amount you're burning throughout all the things that I said, not just the gym. So this is the first kind of myth buster. When you work out and you have like your watch and it's a tracking thing and it says, oh, Angel, you've burnt 500 calories in this session. That doesn't mean you can only eat 500 calories that day. It means that in that certain gym session, you've burnt 500 calories. But what about all the calories you were doing whilst you were taking your children to school, whilst you were lifting that chair and you were putting it in beside this dining table, or when you were doing your laundry, or when you were sleeping, or even just existing? So I don't want you to get confused between that. So what you can do, there's actually a TDEE calculator online. You can plug in the numbers. It'll ask you for your age and your weight and everything like that, and you can get a maintenance calories. Then what I want you to do is reduce that by about 100 calories. Some say 10%. 10% can be quite big of a jump. So maybe start with like 100 calories. And what that's going to do is actually cause you to reduce your body fat, reduce your weight, because you're actually burning more calories than you're consuming. And so that means that you're burning more energy, which means that you're losing more fat, losing more areas of your weight as opposed to what's coming in. Now, whilst we're doing that, I want you to start implementing strength training into your exercise routine. And you should focus on the major muscle groups that you want to build. So say, for example, you want to build a fat ass. I love when I say fat ass. I want you to imagine I'm saying it with like a fucking PH. That girl got a fat ass, a pat ass. I don't know how to say that actually. Anyway, so, your heavy hip thrusts, your lunges, your squats, because squats, yes, they're quads, but they can also sometimes target the glutes. You can't switch off muscles. That's not fucking possible. So anyway, I want you to put a heavy load on those groups, but I don't want you to eliminate the rest of your body. So sometimes as women, we can often start and go, oh, but I just want to build a fat ass and I just want to build glutes. So I'm only going to do booty workouts the entire week. You're actually not building a ratioed or an hourglass body. You're going to have a strong ass, but a really, really weak upper body. And that's actually going to cause like postural issues. You're going to have instabilities along your body, and it's just not going to be a vibe. So what I'd recommend is, still hit your upper body, maybe do 2 upper body and 3 lower body, or 2 upper body, 2 lower body and 1 full body, or whatever you want to do. But obviously pop the greater load on the muscles that you want to build. So now we're at a position where we have those 2. We've got the calories and we've got the strength training, and that's really, really exciting. Now, do you have to, this is kind of the big question, do you have to implement cardio? Honestly, it's up to you. And I know that's not the fucking answer you want to have. There's 2 kind of points that come down to. Firstly, 1, how fast do you want this journey to go? There's a few points then, Firstly, how fast do you want this journey to go? Secondly, is it sustainable for you to implement fitness, and do you see yourself implementing cardio into your life and then burning yourself out? So that's really something to think about. Sometimes we can implement HIIT, which is the high intensity interval training, and then we can just get so exhausted that it all just becomes a burnt out shit show. And 3, is it something you can do without cardio? Yes. So if you fucking hate cardio, babes, don't worry about it. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a matter of time. That's really what it is. If people add cardio into their life, yes, it might speed up the process of losing body fat, but it actually might reduce your muscle mass in the meantime. So if you want to sustain the muscle mass you're doing, I'd actually personally steer away from that high intensity interval training, because sometimes it can cause you to lose your body. It can cause you to lose your body fat, but also increase the likelihood of you losing the muscles that you popped on. So yes, those are the 3 major points of losing fat. And there are a few things that you could take into consideration when doing this. But I need to take a breath. If you're listening to this and you're just getting like super worked up with like losing fat and kind of going, oh my God, Angel's saying all this information to me and she's saying a lot, I just want you to take a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. This is a journey. And I kind of needed that for myself as well, because I was getting like myself super hyped up by talking too fast. But firstly, this is a journey. So I want you to know that the 3 things I said at the start, they're not something you're going to be able to implement in your life overnight. Maybe start with the training. And then once you feel comfortable with your training, add in the nutrition. And when you feel comfortable with the training and nutrition, make sure you're getting enough sleep. So it's 1 foot at a time rather than fucking 14 feet at a time. Okay, a few things that you should know as like a kind of a bonus to what I've been chatting about. Protein intake. It's really important that we're aiming for at least 1 to 1.5 grams per kilo body weight for women. So for me, I'm 60 kilo. That's a guesstimate. I don't really know how many kilos. It might be 65. It might be more, whatever. Say I'm 60 kilo. I would be looking at around 90 to 100 grams of protein for myself. Protein is what builds muscle. Muscles are amino acids that get converted into, it converts the protein to amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks of your muscles. And so when you're putting that load on your muscles and you're breaking them from the strength training, it is the protein that's going to be like, oh, well, don't worry, I've got the hard hat and I've got the fucking hammer and I'm here to build. Like, it'll build them. So please make sure you're having enough protein. And in saying that, carbohydrates, they're the buddies that give you enough energy to train. So don't forget about your fucking carbohydrates. Please eat them. I do not want to see any low carb diets over here. You're a bad bitch and bad bitches eat their carbohydrates. I literally had pasta for breakfast and 2 pieces of toast. And lastly, I want to note consistency. Losing fat and building muscle, especially when you're trying to do it at the same time, takes time. It takes consistency. And you need to stay committed to the same exercise routine and the same foods in order to see results. You can't be chopping and changing from one fad diet to the next, from one Instagram or influencer exercise or workout to the next. You got to choose something, babe, and you got to fucking run with it for at least 8 weeks, at least, if you want to see some genuine results. So, I hope that was a very educational video. I hope that it helped. I obviously take a lot of caution when creating these episodes because I don't want you to feel like you have to lose fat. I'm actually currently in a building phase, so I have actually popped on about 5 kilo. So it really depends on the point in which, or the season of which you are in your life. And I want to validate you if maybe you're not in the fat loss season or you're not in the weight loss season, and you actually don't have to be. When you're a gym girl, there comes a time where you actually get to learn that most of the time you're not going to be in a calorie deficit, you're not going to be in a weight loss phase, and you're not going to want to get yourself skinnier or leaner. I have gotten to the phase where I despise getting leaner. I want to get bigger, I want to get more muscle, and I want to have a fat fucking ass, and I want to do a pull-up, and I want to do bench press, and I want to have a heavy squat. And you know what? That gets to be fully okay. So there you go. I hope that this episode helped. I hope it added some education to your life. And until next time, have a fabulous day. I love you all, and please go do something for yourself. Okay, you fucking deserve it. Bye.